It's rare to have a chance to welcome an entrepreneurial icon to the set of Biz One-on-One. Peter Thomas, among his storied career, has authored 4 books and is the person who brought Century 21 real estate brand into Canada. He became recognized around the world for his commitment to value-based living. Peter's here today to talk about LifePilot with Jennifer Carroll, to whom he is handing the torch of leadership of this 40-year-old organization. Welcome, Peter and Jennifer.
Thank you, Randy.
So great to have you here.
That's great.
Peter, there's so much to talk about. Let's start with LifePilot.
Sure.
What is it?
LifePilot really is a system of getting to understand what you want to be in life, where you want to go, and what's important about life. So if you can understand that, the earlier the better, and it's based upon understanding what your values are. And hopefully when you take the LifePilot program, you'll be able to live your life in alignment with your values.
And you have been doing this program for 40 years?
Well, 1974 was when I first
Wow.
became aware of it.
And you're bragging about being 80, and Jennifer, apparently he's not actually 80.
No, the oldest living teenager right here, for sure. Energizer Bunny, yes, not 80 in any regard.
Jennifer, you're obviously much younger, and you're
yes.
taking over LifePilot. What an opportunity. Tell me about how that all came about.
It is an opportunity, and it's coming full circle. I actually did the first LifePilot. I've known Peter for 25 years, but 15 years ago I did it for the first time with my late husband and my children, actually.
Really?
Yep, yeah. And my daughter Jessica, before going off to college, did her second LifePilot seminar, and she ended up doing these vision boards. So she took her values, set her goals, and then she did a vision board where she took pictures. She found it when she graduated, and she pulled it out, and she called me. She said, "I can't believe it, Mom! Like every single thing was realized." She had a picture of a little surfboard. She learned how to surf. She had a picture of the exact car she bought. She's like, "I didn't even think about it when I bought it. It was the exact car." And then my son Austin, at the same time, he was like 12. Simple man, had his big poster, but he had one picture on it. It was Jerome McGinley. And under it says, "I want to play for the Calgary Flames." And he was 12 years old, and now he's 6'4", 220, no teeth, and plays for the Stockton Heat and was signed by the Calgary Flames, and he's on their farm team. So this stuff
Unbelievable. And I
manifests.
recognize that you're wearing red in reference
Yes.
to
Go
the Calgary
Flames!
Flames. Yes. And for those of you watching in other countries, it's called hockey. It's
Right.
kind of big here in Canada. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Peter, this is value-based living, and you had some trauma in your earlier years. Did this stem out of that trauma?
Well, I think the trauma you're referring to is losing my son, but I lost Todd, he was bipolar, and Todd committed suicide. When I lost Todd, it was earth-shaking and changed our life completely. And so my wife and I, Rita, we literally went to Switzerland and went up into the mountains. And I had lived my life this way, and I disassociated myself from everything I was doing. Everything was cloudy. You talk to me and I'd answer you, but I really wasn't there. And as I was resigning from all this stuff I was doing, I belonged to an organization called YPO, and we were doing a university, and we were doing a university planning session on my boat. And the chairman of the WPO, the World Presidents Organization, was part of the planning committee. And on my boat, I had this book. This is my life book. And it was all about stuff, how I viewed life. And it was never really put together, any package or anything, just my life. So he saw it sitting on the counter, Paul did, and said, "Can I look at this?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of like my diary, my stuff, but yeah, go ahead." So he took it, and he was gone for 3 hours. And he came back, and he said, "Peter, will you come and teach this at one of our forum meetings?" And I said, "Well, Paul, I don't teach this. It's just my stuff, But there's something about it, and because I just was trying to get away from everything, that I said, yes, I would. After that workshop, Paul said, "Peter," and I realize now he was helping me heal.
Right. This was all part of your morning process.
Correct. And I didn't realize that as much. And he said, Peter, you've got to get this going. You've got to teach this to the CEOs. We have thousands and thousands of CEOs all over the world. He said, you've got to teach this to them.
Wow.
And he said, you've got to put this in a sort of an order. So Reed and I then went back and we hired a PR firm, an advertising firm, and sat down with colors and organization and put it all together in what we have a 4-hour workshop. And we teach that workshop all over the world. And we went to Bahrain, we went to Paris, went to London, went to Hong Kong. And I really taught this program to billionaires and people who are just young and getting started, but all business people. So we did that literally for 7 years. And in that 7 years, I healed.
Right.
And I learned that,
From the loss of your son.
Correct. So I learned that if you live your life in alignment with your values, life gets easier. It's never easy to make values-based decisions, but it's better to do that every time you do it. Every time I have to make a decision about anything, my priorities always relate to my values.
And Jennifer, you're now having the opportunity to pick up the ball and run with LifePilot. Are values something that are to be taught or to be really considered, or is it just you're just supposed to figure it out?
It all boils down to the tough questions we ask ourselves all the time, like, what do we want?
Yes.
How do we envision our lives? How do we make a difference? How do we leave a legacy, live our lives to leave a legacy? And these are tough questions. As Dr. Seuss says, sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. And maybe, just maybe, the answers to these tough questions can be boiled down to vision and values. I lost my husband 5 years ago, and when that last year of his life, I realized more than ever the significance of LifePilot and how living a value-based life is imperative. When I first did the first summer, that I really value my voice and sharing stories and trying to impact lives. And I just feel so excited that 15 years later, I'm now really diving in head first into something that I believe in, and I really feel that I needed those 15 years to live it. I've lived it.